Welcome to That's My Line. Tonight on this stage, you are going to meet a man who claims he can move physical objects using only the powers of his mind. Line featured the world-famous magician, the amazing Randy. Well, we invited him back tonight for a very special reason. Here he is, the amazing Randy. You have been touring our country performing as a magician, but you have also been debunking psychics, haven't you?
I have indeed.
Would you explain to our audience why you devote so much time to this crusade of yours?
Well, I'll tell you, Bob, I feel it's a very serious matter to be particularly raising a younger generation who are being led to believe by some incompetent and not very bright, in some cases, magicians and scientists at the same time, that there are such things as psychic powers. I've looked for it for a long time now, and I have not found anything in 35 years. And I think that particularly a younger generation being told that these things are real will not be raised in such a way that they can deal with a rational, logical, real world.
And you have offered $10,000 to anyone who can perform a psychic feat.
I have indeed, and I carry the check with me.
I hope you have the check with you tonight, because we have a young man who claims to be able to move objects with his mind. What I would like to have you do is to go backstage and watch carefully as I ask this young man to demonstrate his psychic powers.
Very well, I will.
Make yourself comfortable in front of a monitor. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I want you to meet a very interesting young man. He is only 21 years old. He's from Salt Lake City, and he's the founder of the Institute of Shaolin Kung Fu, and the subject of much controversy. Welcome, James Hydrick. Welcome to That's My Line. All of us are very pleased, not just pleased, but excited to have you with us. Now, you claim to have psychic powers, don't you?
Yes, I do.
Is this something that you have discovered recently, or have you known of it since childhood? How did it all begin?
Well, everyone's born with it. It's just a matter of development.
How did you develop your psychic power?
Well, through background and through training from an old Chinese master.
What sort of training?
Martial arts, kung fu, and laws of nature.
Well, what was necessary to develop the psychic power? What did this martial arts training do for you, I mean?
Well, it teaches you to recognize yourself, inner and outer self, to reach the fourth level of consciousness, matching the absence of the mind to the motions of the body.
And you say that we all have this power.
Everyone has it.
And each of us could develop it.
Absolutely.
Now, you are going to demonstrate this psychic power on That's My Line.
Yes.
What are you going to do, James?
I'm going to move a pencil for you.
With just psychic powers?
Just psychic powers.
Very well. Here's a pencil, James. Show us. James, that pencil definitely moved. Now, is it true that you can also turn the pages of this telephone directory?
Yes, it is.
And you will do that for us?
I'll try.
Should I take the pencil off the table?
Yes.
All right. There you are, James.
You would like to open it to any page, or should you want me to do it?
I'll be happy to.
Okay, let's get it. I'll get it. Ready?
You turn the page of the telephone directory. Now, these demonstrations, you did these same demonstrations on That's Incredible.
Yes, I did.
And as you know, the amazing Randy maintains that you did not use psychic power, but that it was trickery. And he is prepared to pay you $10,000 if you can do it using psychic power. Later in our show, you two will meet head to head, and we will test your psychic powers to the nth degree. And I know that you at home are not going to want to miss that.
You must understand that when he was making that page move, he knew he was under the gun. He was being observed carefully. He would not wear a microphone. He wanted the overhead microphone, the boom microphone, to follow him around, pick up any sounds. With the microphone such as this around his neck, his gimmick might have been given away immediately. The point is, it took them about 25 minutes or so to get him to turn that page. So it's all condensed. You'll even notice that the book shifts position rather dramatically from the edge further in on the table at one point. That's an edit, but it's quite innocently done. They just cut 25 minutes down to a matter of 40 seconds or so. But there was a long period of time during which he did this, and when you see him try it under my conditions, it was a full 45 minutes. They actually let the audience go out to take a lunch break and come back in again during that period. You won't see that cut in the tape. You'll just see sort of a dissolve. But let's go ahead with it.
Once again, here is the man who claims to have psychic powers, James Hydrick. James, welcome back to our stage. You did a most impressive demonstration earlier in our show. If you saw it, I'm sure you were impressed. If you did not, let me explain that James moved a pencil without touching it, and James turned the page of a telephone directory without touching it. And you claim to have done that with psychic power.
Yes.
Now, you're prepared to demonstrate your psychic powers again. You've warmed up. You're ready to go, are you, James? Very well. Let's welcome back a man who has made a name for himself as a master trickster and the author of Flim Flam, the Amazing Randy. Randy, welcome back. James, Randy. Now, you saw James' demonstration from backstage.
Yes, I did.
And do you accept that as a demonstration of psychic power, or do you believe that he used trickery?
I don't accept it as a demonstration of psychic power, Bob. I think that the solution is rather simple. I think that Mr. Hydrick is merely, to accomplish this effect, blowing on both the page and on the pencil.
I see. Now, you originally asked him to demonstrate in two different ways his psychic power. But as I understand it, you are now prepared to waive the demonstration with the pencil.
Yes, and the reason is rather simple, because the pencil reacts to even the currents of the air conditioning in this studio. It will be very difficult to try to put controls on it in such a way that normal currents of air that are present all the time would not move the pencil. For example, it moves very, very easily.
All right, you're not going to ask him to do that. That's one down, one to go, James. You are prepared to pay him $10,000 if he can turn the page of the telephone directory with certain controls.
That's right.
You have the $10,000, do you, Randy?
I do indeed. It's right here. I've carried this check now for going on 17 years, Bob. There it is, a check for $10,000 awardable to the gentleman should he be able to successfully perform the demonstration.
I would like to introduce our panel of judges. And our first judge here, Dr. John Palmer, is a psychologist and professor of parapsychology at John F. Kennedy University. The seat right there, Dr. Palmer. We have Dr. Stephen Drake, astronomer and expert on stellar evolution at UCLA. And our third judge is Dr. Ronald Markman, assistant clinical professor of psychiatry at USC.